Welcome to Red Light, Green Light, the podcast where seasoned leaders and top-tier executives in science, tech, pharma, finance, and innovation open up and get real with me and with you. You'll hear personal stories from key moments of their career arcs and how they've struggled and succeeded when it comes to moving audiences from the red light of risk to the green light of go. I'm Cindy Skalicky, storytelling strategist and author of the best-selling book, Red Light, Green Light, How Top Leaders Present with Polish, Get Buy-in, and Become More Influential. On this podcast, you'll hear from an exceptional invite-only lineup of leaders who've been in the room and at the table when stakes were high, decisions were hard, and their stories had to land. This is where expert minds share stories that shape the future. What's more, you'll walk away with tips you can try immediately to drive the vision of innovation with your team. Hi, everybody. Welcome. Welcome to an episode of Red Light, Green Light. Today, once again, I am the host and the guest. We are going to do a shorter episode today that is around perspective under pressure. And I want to talk today about a tool I've been sharing with clients around visualization and how visualization is the ticket to real message mastery, especially around one of the skills so many leaders want help with, which is how to slow down and how to stand out in those rooms that just get your heart going, right? When you can visualize, you are validating in your mind what you're about to bring to the table. So today's a little bit like a masterclass of chapter 8 in my book, Red Light, Green Light, How Top Leaders Present with Polish, Get Buy-in, and Become More Influential. And one of the ways you can become more influential is by really having mastery of the message that you're bringing. And I'll give you an example of a time you might use as a use case. You could also just think of something coming up on your calendar that's high stakes to you. Doesn't matter really who it's to, as long as it feels high stakes to you. But think of things like, maybe you're presenting at a board meeting or a strategy review, or you have a panel coming up, or you're being asked to do a media interview or a podcast internally. There's a lot of different scenarios where you might begin to feel nervous. A conference presentation is popular. And today I just want to spend a few minutes doing for you the visualization exercise I have recorded for my clients. Often they are working on a presentation that they will be giving on the road. So when it comes to preparing, it's really around slow motion visualization. And I actually record like a miniature podcast episode for clients. And I walk with them in their mind's eye from the hotel room down to the conference ballroom. And they stick me kind of in their ears, and I talk to them and I teach them how to start thinking through their situation. So we're going to do that today, and you'll be able to grab this podcast episode and hit play whenever you go to a hotel room, whenever you're invited to make remarks, and it will slow your heart rate. Listening to this will slow your breathing rate, and it will get your mindset into a position of mastery. And you will leave this episode with higher confidence, and you will be thinking about how you're going to nail it. So let's begin. I'd like you to join me in this exercise by just imagining a situation that's coming up. If you don't have a specific situation, you can think of one you've already been through that you'd like to redo a little better. or one that you did great in and you would like to relive. So just take a minute and think about what that situation is. I'm going to, for the sake of our exercise today, imagine that you are on the 12th floor of a hotel in my home city of Chicago, just for the sake of it. And you are going down to a conference at the ballroom downstairs, and you are the breakout speaker, or maybe you have a big internal meeting that you need to deliver to higher level executives. Okay. So we're going to close your eyes, and it's the morning of your presentation. And your alarm has just gone off in your hotel room. It's early in the morning, and the shades are drawn to block out all the light. And once you get up out of your bed and you turn off your alarm, you brush your teeth and get dressed. And maybe you've already put me into your ears by this point in time. You take a few deep breaths in front of the mirror. That long mirror in your hotel room is there, and you take a look at the mirror and observe your wardrobe choice for the day. And you think to yourself, I look great. I look solid and strong, and I feel confident. And today is the day. I am going to nail it. Maybe you have put up a few Post-it notes on that mirror or the mirror in the hotel bathroom to remind you of keywords. You take a deep breath and you run through the first 3 minutes of your presentation, your opening lines. This helps you warm up your voice. You're speaking a little louder than you normally would, ignoring your neighbors. And you run through the first 3 minutes because you've planned ahead. You gave yourself buffer time in the morning and you've planned ahead. You're feeling good about those initial 3 minutes. You're hearing the voice in your own mind and out loud around the words you're hanging on and where you need to slow down, how you're going to click through your slides. As you go toward the hotel door to leave with your bag around your shoulder, you notice a sticky note right above that sliding lock. And it reminds you to go grab that one more item that you did not want to forget. Maybe it was a clicker. Maybe it was a pair of flats for after you can take off your heels. Maybe it's a stick of gum. You open the door and you hear it latch loudly as you walk down the hall confidently to the elevator. Once you arrive at the elevator, you push that down arrow and see it light up, and you wait, and you're thinking about that first sentence, and you're remembering how you're going to walk slightly toward your audience as you say that, and how you're going to take in your audience as you begin your presentation. You step into the elevator and you go down to the first floor lobby. You walk out knowing that someone might be there who knows you and is looking forward to seeing you that day. So you greet that person, you find a cup of coffee or tea or water, make your way to the room where you'll be presenting. Imagining that you might be sitting at a table along with others, and there might be other presenters first. You sit quietly and await your turn. You're able to focus on other people and their messages because you're so solid in your own. You're not fidgeting. You're not going through your notes. You're not afraid of what anyone is thinking of you. You're actually so excited to bring to them what you have crafted, and you can't wait till it's your turn. Once someone calls your name and it is your turn, you confidently scoot your chair back, pick up your clicker and your laptop and any notes you might need for the podium, and you begin to make your way to the front. Someone introduces you, and you are standing there with that moment of silence prior to opening your mouth to begin your sentence. You know the sentence. You've already said it 100 times if you've said it once. So you take a deep breath, you engage with eye contact toward the audience in front of you. You begin with a nice loud voice, and your warmth is immediate. Your confidence is immediate. Your volume is more than adequate, and you begin to deliver your presentation. Throughout the presentation, you pause to be sure everyone is following. You allow for space. You're not rushed. You're not nervous. You're able to read the room. You're able to pause and ask questions of others. You're even able to take questions and share additional insights and ideas because you know exactly what slide you're on, what the picture on that slide is of, and you remember the short story you wanted to share about a personal journey throughout your life that would resonate and relate. As you get to the end of your presentation, you're ending with strength. You're seeing people in the audience, they're nodding, they're writing things down, they're not on their phones, they're not bored, they're engaged, they're even smiling. They appreciate the effort you put in and the time you spent to rehearse and bring to them an experience that was tailored specifically for them. In their eyes, you look elevated now. You really brought your A game. And as you end your presentation by saying, "Thank you, and I'm ready for the first question," you stand there knowing you have done your very best and that the next question that comes is going to further your presentation because you delivered it with such clarity. You handle questions like a boss, using the anatomy of the question and the anatomy of the answer as your guide. And when you're finished with your presentation and you take your seat, you sit down with a feeling of completion and exhilaration because you have earned credibility in this moment. You have earned the accolades and you have earned the texts and feedback that will come to you. Now you'll move on to your next meeting, and by the end of the day, you'll go back to the elevator and you will push the up button. You hydrated well, you are wearing the comfortable shoes that you brought, you've taken notes, and you've jotted down people to follow up with, and you're just feeling great. You gave it your all, you head back up to your room, you close the door, flip off your shoes, look in the mirror, that tall mirror from head to toe, and say to yourself, "Job well done. You earned your keep today. And now it's time to celebrate." You can open your eyes. I want to share the one thought with you all today that we do encourage some kind of celebration with yourself, whether you bought something for yourself or you go grab a cocktail or a sweet treat or grab something that you've been waiting for, a good book, whatever it might be, a massage. Do something for yourself after the hard work that you've put in to the message. I hope this was helpful to you, all of you listening, and I hope you'll be able to play this and make it work for your situation. It works for me, it works for our clients, and it is going to improve your next presentation. I am a huge believer in visualization. And as I mentioned, this comes from chapter 8 in Red Light, Green Light. I hope that you will grab a copy if you don't have one already. And I welcome any questions or thoughts about this episode as we take a break and think through perspectives under pressure. Today was meant to lower the pressure of yourselves and increase your influence and persuasiveness and credibility with stakeholders you meet now and in the future. Thanks everyone for listening. Get out there, find a way to get your next audience from the red light of risk to the green light of go. And we'll be back again next week with another fantastic guest and his or her storylines. Take care now. Bye bye.